Alright y'all, welcome back to some more Umineko When They Cry. We are now on chapter 11 and we're continuing from last time. Last time Byrne intruded on the Halloween party and started off a game between Batter and Beato. And now we're continuing it. This video will focus on the Byrne game. We'll get through the entirety of the Byrne game throughout the course of this video, I'm assuming. And yeah, basically, we'll see how it goes. We'll see how the Byrne game goes. Let's get to it. A genuine mystery, says Battler. Music is still playing from where we left off last time-ish, around here. So, alright, let's continue. A genuine mystery, says Battler, or Beato. I'm assuming Battler because he's the one that has the mouth open. And Byrne with that little cat smile, a little smile. Alright, let me zoom in now. To zoom out. What do you mean? They say. Chapter 11. Byrne poses a question. Well, as an observer of this duel, I, Lambda Delta, will be fair and explain the rules all simple. Battler. In the games you fought against Beato before, it was about whether the culprit was a witch or human, says Lambda. She continues saying, in other words, a fight of fantasy versus mystery. Beato constructed a story of murder claiming it to be committed by a witch, and you would win if you could explain those with human means. It was just about denying the witch, and you had a chance of winning even if you didn't pin down a complete culprit. Correct. So, Battler's win condition did not depend on pinning down the culprit, but just by explaining it in a way that a human could have done it. So even if multiple people could have done it, he had to, as long as it made sense in a human way. That's all he needed to do. But Byrne's game is much simpler. A simple story of murder committed by a human culprit. If you solve the game by following all the rules, you can definitely find the culprit. And to find the culprit is the winning condition. That means it's a normal detective novel. Haha! Exactly. I omitted both motive and tricks. Ooh, okay. No motive, no tricks. I demand just one answer from the two of you. Who done it? They both said at the same time. Great panel here. And serving as witness, I declare this game is made so it can be solved. Okay, so I'm saying it can be solved. There is room to win for Battler and Beato. If you don't solve it correctly, Byrne wins. I also ensure you that the stage of your duel is fair. Okay? This should be fun. It's like reading the challenge to the reader part of a detective novel. It's really simple and pure. If that's not a fighting finale, if that's not a fitting finale for us. It's really simple and pure. If that's not a fitting finale for us, Beato, okay. But Byrne, Battler and Beato started out over their love of mystery. It's a well-made game, but do you think it'll work on them? That's what I mean. Like, we'll solve this, Byrne. This is too easy for us. If my best is not enough, then so it shall be. Okay, Byrne, that's respectable. It was foul. Me being looked down by Beato without ever actually stepping up. This duel is to dissociate myself from that. I'm honored to have you as an opponent, says Beato. Battler smiles. Berncastle, promise me just this. Whoever wins or loses, let's be friends when this duel is over. Oh, just stop. I'll die of flattery. There's a fragment. Well then, let's begin. No need for reading it out loud. Read the story yourself, says Byrne. But you'll lose your advantage. A game is distorted depending on the reader and may even manipulate impressions, like Beato used for the dramatization of her witch illusion. In a fair game, that is just distraction. That's very respectable of you, Byrne. So not having a reader means there is no deception in any of the stage directions. An authentic mystery battle is something we can accept any day. Thank you. I'm not planning to lose though. That's no good, Lady Berncastle. Yeah, that behavior doesn't work for a witch posing a mystery. She's twitching. Ooh, that's a scary look there. A friendly mystery discourse between humans and witches? So boring I could puke. So foolish it makes me laugh. I will see if you can stand up to my mystery, says Byrne. And if you can't, Beatrice, the Golden Witch, and the Game Master, Batter. Oh right, wait, I'm reading it wrong. I read it completely wrong. I will see if you can stand up to my mystery. And if you can't, eat this! This is Burncastle's mystery! And if you can't... Okay. Beatrice, the Golden Witch, and the Game Master Battler, we accept your challenge. Don't start crying when we beat you. Ooh, Beato giving her the middle finger. Ooh, okay, Beato. Dang, alright, passionate. Not the most fitting music for the scene, but you know. This is Burncastle's mystery. Okay, the pages fly out. Murder game in the Rocket Island. Kenjima. Rules. Oh, okay, we don't have to read the rules. I think we already. If it's the same rules as in the visual novel, we don't need to read it. A culprit is defined as a murderer. A culprit has the ability to lie. A culprit has the yeah, we've read these rules before. I guess if you're a pure manga reader and never read the visual novel, I'll read the rules out for you. Fine. A culprit is defined as a murderer. A culprit has the ability to lie. A culprit has the a culprit has the ability to lie even before any murders. The people who are not the culprit can only tell the truth. The people who are not the culprit will not aid the culprit. A culprit will carry out all murders directly with their own hands. A culprit does not die. Death means death of the flesh. A culprit is a... yeah, that's an important one actually. A culprit is among the given characters. No lies exist within the stage directions. First Twilight, October 5th, 8 AM. What is going on? Oh, this is a fitting OST for the scene. A murder on an island isolated by a storm? This is way too convenient. Dang it, who would do this? Battler screaming out. Calm down, Battler. There's Jessica, Jordan, Maria, okay. Let's sort out this situation for now. Okay, 8 AM. The tragedy of the first file was discovered on October 5th, 6 AM. So it's currently 8 AM. But okay, it was first discovered by Ainge at 6 AM, I guess. Or maybe it was discovered by Gora. Oh, I don't know, we'll see. I thought it was discovered by Gora and or Shannon or something. Gora got up to prepare breakfast and went to look how the siblings were doing. Who had been hauled up in the dining hall since last night because of the family conference. There he ran into Kumasawa, who became the first to discover it. The dining hall had been locked. Ooh, it's set in blue. Right, they haven't explained the rules of how, you know what blue means, but they haven't explained the rules of how, well, is this blue or purple? Actually, it's purple. I think it's purple. A bit weird color. It's like a mix between blue and purple, but I'm pretty sure it's just supposed to be purple. It looks like a pen blue, but yeah, it's purple. It has to be purple because it's a purple statement. And I don't remember there being blue statements. Okay, the dining hall had been locked, says Gora. Because we normally do not tend to lock it, I found it strange and tried knocking, but there was no answer. Fearing the worst, I decided to step in and unlock the door. And there's Kumasawa, I guess. What's that? Is that Kumasawa? Yeah, that is Kumasawa, yeah. I would assume at least. A bit weird visual. Fearing the worst, I decided to step in and unlock the door. When I opened the door with the master key, I saw this horrible scene inside. So, another blue sentence. Yeah. The adults be dead. Yep, this is the same scene we saw when Angie walked over here. There's Eva. That's Hideyoshi? That's supposed to be Hideyoshi? Okay, I guess. Rudolph, Kiria, Rosa, and Genji. They're dead. There were Eva-sama, Hideyoshi-sama, Rudolph-sama, Kiria-sama, Rosa-sama, and Genji-sama. Those 6 people all blood smeared and collapsed. A huge commotion rose. Everyone gathered in the dining hall. See, the thing is, I already know who the culprits are because I've read the visual novel and I've solved the mystery already, so it's got a little bit boring for me to read it like this. But I guess for all of you who don't know who the culprits are, I guess I'll read and for now act like I don't know who the culprits are and how the murders happened. I guess. A huge commotion rose. Everyone gathered in the dining hall. It was like a picture of hell. All the children clinging to their parents, screaming and crying. Yeah, there's Mario with Rosa. Mario, okay. And obviously a battle with his dad and Kitty on the side. The young masters and madams all inspected their respective parents. Yes, Mama is dead, says Maria. Not only her, all victims died instantly, I suppose, says Maria. Father and mother are also dead beyond doubt. And it was also clearly murder, says George. Remember that people who are not culprits cannot lie. So if Maria and George aren't culprits, then they cannot lie here. They're telling the truth. Yeah, Dad and Kira-san were killed as well. With such wounds, there's no way they'd live. And Kano goes on to say, Dr. Naja and I confirmed that Genji's dead. It was a brutal way to kill. Anybody besides me could verify they are dead. So I'm just confirming that. So if Nando's not a culprit, then that's a big blue right there. It was a brutal way to kill, he says. At the same time, they did an inspection of the whole dining hall. But neither was anybody hiding in there, nor did they find someone suspicious. But all the windows and doors had been locked, so they understood that it was a locked room. But this is really weird, says Jessica. So if there are only the victims in this locked room, how could the culprit kill them and then escape? Oh, you're right. So this is a locked room murder, says Battler. I don't want to consider it, but the servants carrying master keys are suspicious, says Krauss. The only ones who could leave the dining hall after the murder and lock it are the servants. That's unbelievable, says Kimosawa and Goda. To prevent any further trouble or ill will, I had Genji's master key destroyed. Says Natsuhi. It is destroyed, okay. It is only natural to suspect the servants with a master key due to the crime scene situation. And none of the servants had an alibi. More than that, none of the survivors had an alibi to show. Stop, says Battler. He's pointing his finger up. There's Byrne. There's a lot I want to confirm about the setting. Alright, says Byrne. First, about the keys. Is there any method beside the master keys to lock rooms from the outside? I'll tell you in red, says Byrne. There is no method beside the master key to lock or unlock any doors from the outside. Of course, it is possible to lock and unlock the rooms with the internal lock from the inside. But shouldn't there be keys for the respective rooms beside the master key? They make the game board too confusing, so I left them out this time. In red she says, there exist no keys beside the master keys on this game board. Battler then goes on to say, next is the number. How many master keys are there? Byrne confirms in red 5 keys, and then she continues on saying, every servant carries his one respective key. At this point, Genji's key has already been destroyed, so there are only 4 left. Held in possession with Kimosawa, Kanon, Shannon, and Gora. And the master key is always attached to their body, she says in red. They cannot be stolen or handed over. They cannot even be used by anyone besides the carrier themselves, she says in red. They can't be used? What the? In other words, only the servants can lock or unlock the doors with the keys in this game, says Beato. Byrne continues drinking her tea. Is there more? Yes, there is. There was one thing I noticed. From the start there were constantly these statements. Is that a new rule? It's a rule inherent to this game. It's called the purple statement, or the purple truth, whatever you want to call it. Purple statement? I guess statement is actually more accurate in this case than truth. It's not necessarily a truth. Purple statements, Beato says. I created it so the story became easier to understand. The purple statement, she says in red, the purple statement carries the same power as the red truth. So you could maybe just ignore all the statements not made in purple. But The culprit alone is able to tell lies with the purple statements, she says. What? And Battler's smiling, huh? That sounds fun. So in other words, nobody besides the culprit can lie. Those who are not the culprit tell the truth, and the culprit can mix his lies in. The purple truth. You have to be really watchful of that, says Beato. Okay, Battler says. Let's continue the game. Alright, now he's fully caught on the game. Next is the second Twilight. And we have this caller playing in the background. We're 20 minutes into this video. We're already 20 minutes into this video. So this caller is playing second Twilight. Everyone returned to the parlor for the time being and discussed what to do from then on. Okay. The outside phone line was out, so they could not contact the police. And while they were considering an outside job, they could not ignore the feeling in their stomachs while time passed, since none of them had an alibi. But this pressure reached its limit around noon. I'm sorry, says Cross. We will shortly go and discuss further actions in our room. Cross and Nazi leave to go to the room. Okay. Starting with Cross and Nazi's action, they used this as a short break. They each went for a short toilet break or used it to stare out into the rain, and so the time slowly passed. Okay. Alright, everyone leaves. Yeah. Hey, Mom and Dad are running late. You don't think something happened? What time is it? Oh, it's 1:30, and they said they were gonna go around noon. Yeah, it's been an hour and a half. They should be here by now. Something is wrong, says Shannon. It was only Cross and Nazi who didn't return as time passed on. I tried calling them over the house line, but no matter how often they didn't pick up, says Shannon. Now, the cousins started to get suspicious. What's going on? So everyone decided to head over to Nazi's room. Mom, are you there? Answer me, says Jessica. The door is locked, says Jessica in purple. My lady, I will unlock it, says Conan. Click. Or is that Shannon? That's actually Shannon. My bad. My bad, Shannon. My bad, Conan and Shannon. Shannon locks it. Jessica goes in. And there they are. There's three corpses. Cross's hair looks a little weird here. But yeah, that is him supposed to be dead. Which makes sense, because who else would be dead in Nazi's room along with Nazi? It would be her husband, right? Yeah, they're dead. Dad! Mom! They are dead as heck, bro. Ooh. You can see like the weapon used to stab her in the throat. Brutal. Brutal. Alright. Dr. Nandro, hurry! Oh no, they're dead. It's too late. Yeah. Come on, you can tell by looking at this. They are dead though. They are dead. They cannot be revived. It's too late. They are both dead. They died instantly, I suppose, says Nandro. Dang it! Again! Says Jessica. The window is locked. Again! You wanna tell me this room is also a locked room? Says Jessica, screams Jessica. Batter and George, they're shocked. Oh, Dad! Mom! Dang it! Why is this? So this is a locked room as well. Maria. So that means that we have no choice but to doubt the servants due to their master keys. No. No, George-sama! Please, stay calm. In order to escape suspicion, we were keeping watch on each other. What? Says George. Yes, we servants have always been together from after the first incident onwards. We servants can verify the alibi of each of the other servants. Alright. What? Says Batter. What do you mean? None of us can carry any of the master keys, and if you all have alibis, then that would mean that there is nobody who could have created this locked room. Maria says, before long, someone proposed to keep the crime scene intact. In order to deliver an unspoiled crime scene to the police, the room was sealed so that nobody could enter or exit it. If they looked a little more... Pause. I'm not gonna say anything. Moving on. I almost said something I shouldn't have. But if you know, you know. Alright, is intake. First, they sealed the door to Nazi's room with duct tape. Yeah, okay. The same on the door to the dining hall. Okay. From the perspective of both the integrity of the crime scene and their well-being, they also sealed the mansion itself and moved over to the guest house. From now on, nobody can enter or exit the mansion. By the way, the narrator cannot lie. The narrator is always telling the truth. So just so you know, when they say no one can enter or exit the mansion from now on, they mean that. Like, that's a truth. Which is important, by the way. This is important. Everything that the narrator says is important to solving the mystery. I already know the solutions. It's kind of like boring for me to read because like I already know exactly how it's going on, how the culprit is doing things. So I'm kind of here like, okay, well. Okay, tape is going crazy. They sealed the mansion itself. So you're gonna tell me they used a ladder to even seal the windows on the 3rd floor? Let me simplify the game before it turns too confusing, says Byrne. In this game, all the windows are equipped with fixed fittings and steel bars, so entry or exit through them is impossible. Oh wow. Therefore, just by sealing 2 doors, the main entrance and the back door, the mansion can be sealed. She says this in red. Sealed. Entry exit impossible. Those are equating statements. I see, says Battler. Battler, what do you think about the second Twilight? Well, says Battler, it's easy to kill Natsu Obasa and cross Oji-san. The culprit can just knock and then have them open the door. But he can't lock the door again. And all the servants who carry a master key have alibis. But it could also be that all the servants are in on it. That is one, that is one option. If all the servants are in on it, all of them are in on it, then yes, they could all be the culprits. Also, I still have my doubts about the victims of the first Twilight. So you think one of them was playing dead? Yes! And that person killed Cross and Natsu. The culprit locked the door from the inside, hid in the room, and then escaped at the next chance. That could work. There's a problem with your theory though, Batter. They locked the door from the inside, hid in the room, and then escaped at the next chance. The problem with that theory is that... Okay, wait. Byrne's gonna say it for me. In red then, she says, the culprit of the first Twilight definitely killed 6 people. And, she goes on to say, Natsu's room was sealed at the very moment they left it. The culprit did not leave the room with them. The seals on Natsu's room, the dining hall, the mansion will definitely not break. In other words, they can't use the trick of hiding under the bed and sneaking out unnoticed. Interesting, says Batter. So, yeah, what Byrne here basically confirmed is that whoever the culprit is, if the culprit is among one of the first, among the first Twilight victims and playing dead like Batter's theorizing, if they go to Natsu's room, like Batter's theorizing, and kill them and then hid in the room, from the moment they hide in the room, they cannot get out, right? Like, the culprit did not leave the room with them. They could not have gotten out from the room after killing Cross and Natsu. So they're stuck in that room. And since they locked the mansion, they also cannot leave the mansion. Which means that if the culprit is among the first dead people, like Batter's theorizing, and they hid in this room, they cannot then go on to kill all the other remaining, the remaining peeps, unless there's another culprit, or unless his theory is false. But yeah, interesting, says Batter. For Twilight, moving on. For the time being, they rested in the guest house, waiting for the typhoon to pass. And if they only kept perfect watch over each other, another tragedy should be impossible to occur. But due to a tiny mistake, it still happened. Oh my god, bruh. Kora-san, is Shannon here? If you're looking for her, she had something important to do and went outside together with Kanon-kun. Come on, bruh. They all went outside and began their search for Shannon and Kanon. When... Oh! There's Shannon's dead corpse. Oh no! Shannon! Shannon, says George. Please, answer me! Shannon! I'm very sorry. Shannon is dead as well, says Danjo. In the time since Shannon left and we all gathered to go search for her, every one of us had the margin to be alone, says Jessica. You're right, nobody has an alibi. We don't, the servants don't, Dr. Nanjo doesn't, even George Nissan doesn't have one. A crime was possible. Who killed you? Who killed my Shannon? Shannon! Shannon! There's Maria. Haha. George Nissan would never kill Shannon, someone says in... Yeah, Jessica says in purple. He would never be able to kill her. And with Shannon's death, Canon goes forever missing. Right. Let's just say Shannon's death equates to Canon's death. Let's just easy it out with that. In order to prevent misuse, Shannon and Canon's master keys were destroyed at the crime scene where they had been left. 5th and 6th Twilight. So Shannon and Canon's master keys are destroyed, Genji's master keys destroyed. You know, to the 5th and 6th Twilight. So again, they huddled up in the guest house. They locked all doors and windows. They constructed what was a giant locked room. The 2 master keys remaining in that locked room were accounted for. So they believed it impossible for anyone to break in. The first incident and the second were both locked rooms. I'm sorry, but I have to doubt the servants. It's a stunt that only somebody with a master key could ever pull off, says Jessica. Right, because at this point we basically only have the cousins remaining. Only the cousins remain, and Kumasawa, Goda, and Nanjo. So, but they all have alibis for the time Natsuo Basan was killed. So they could have just made a secret agreement. I bet Shannon and Canon just stopped being useful, so they killed them. I'm kinda interested in the inside of the rooms. The inside, says Jessica. George then goes on to say, locking a room means that the outside is completely locked off. But if you use the inside lock, it is still a proper locked room. If the culprit simply lurked on the inside, then a crime is possible. And where was that person? We couldn't find any suspicious person, could we? But couldn't there be a hidden door? If the culprit escaped through that, there are no hidden doors, says Jessica. That place is my home. I should know it best. Kihihihi, says Maria. Nobody did it. It was the witch, she says. Ooh, clap, clap. Matter's shaking his head. Let's confirm all their statements once more, together with Dr. Nanjo. Then we can see the cousins, accompanied by Dr. Nanjo, went to the downstairs servant room. Gora-san, Kumasawa-san, can we come in? Anybody there? And they're dead. Boom, boom, boom. This OST is really fitting. Gora-san, Kumasawa-san. Yeah, they're dead. That's... The 2 died instantly due to their wounds, I suppose. A gruesome way to die, says Nanjo. How? Who? Because we were busy locking everything up and checking the rooms. Again, we are all without alibis. Man. No, you're wrong. Look here. Says George. With a method as flashy as cutting their throats, the culprit must be drenched in blood. But neither Dr. Nanjo nor us cousins have any drops of blood on them. Then, neither us 4 cousins nor Dr. Nanjo could have killed Gora-san and Kumasawa-san, says Jessica. So you mean the culprit is somebody else? So somebody else is around here, Batter says. There could be traces of somebody sneaking around. They were considering an act of an outsider sneaking into the guest house and thus checked the locks. Weird. There is nothing open around. The guest house was perfectly locked, says George. So the culprit really does have a master key. Impossible. There are no master keys left besides the 2 carried by Gora-san and Kumasawa-san. And those are the only 2 remaining. Then why are people dying? Are you telling me that the culprit hypnotized them and made them kill themselves? Dang, that is crazy. It's enough. 7th and 8th Twilight, here we go. Kumasawa and Goda's master keys were destroyed as well, and so all master keys are lost. No more master keys, y'all. So nobody should be able to destroy the guest house locked room anymore. Yeah, as if unable to hold back any longer, another corpse was discovered by the cousins inside the guest house. What? Dr. Nanjo! And even he's dead. Now all we have left is the cousins. It's the 4 cousins. Only children remain. Nandro was killed at the entrance of the guest house. He had likely been there to check on the lock of the door. He's dead. He was killed, says Jessica. Even I can see at first sight that this was instant death without a doubt, says George. All the locks are perfect, so it's still a locked room, says Maria. So, does that mean that the culprit is among us? Among us? Ooh. Says Battler, alright. Jessica then goes on to say, that's bullcrap! Dr. Nanjo also got his throat cut. It's the same as with Kumasawa-san and Gora-san. Is there any blood splashed on one of us? None of us four cousins could have killed Dr. Nanjo, they say in purple. But everybody besides us is dead. Who and how? No, I have enough of all this, says Jessica. She's running off. She's opened the door and she's off. No, Jessica, wait! Jessica's asking to get killed, bro. She's run off. You're here, right? Come out, you pieces of crap! All of you! Stop hiding and show yourself! Jessica screaming. Shh. Jessica! Jessica! Battler, George, Maria. Those three chased after Jessica had run off. But, ooh, that's the deep cut we saw earlier. Spurting out, his blood spurting out. Fresh blood. And she is hella dead, bro. Holy crap. I mean, yeah, with that cut that deep in your throat, you are dead, guaranteed. They only found the tragic side of Jessica's corpse. That is tragic, bro. Whoever murdered her this way, you're disgusting, bro. This George, this Battler, this Maria. Look at Maria, bro. Look at Maria's expression. The music is fitting for the scene, that's good. Jessica clearly died instantly, and it was obviously murder. But none of the three who came chasing after her, neither Battler, George, nor Maria could have killed Jessica. The narrator said this, so this is 100% true. Dang, says Battler. Who's the culprit? Who would do such a thing, says Battler. None of us three could have killed Jessica, right? There's George. As if you could kill anybody, Maria. Maria could not kill anyone, says George. So, if George is not a culprit, then Maria not able to kill anyone is for sure true. Alright. Ouch. Moving on, Maria says, Kihihihi, thank you. George and Ichan, you couldn't kill an adult, says Maria. You could kill a child, or a minor though. So, I'm pretty sure in this case, a child or a minor, they're counting Shannon and Kanon as children / minors, by the way. Even though earlier Jessica said in purple that George could never kill Shannon. So, but when that's what she means that's what Maria means when she says that. And also, Maria's also saying that, I mean, we already know this, but I'm assuming Jessica also counts as a child / minor, even though she's 18. But you know what I mean. But we also know that George didn't kill Jessica because it says right there. None of the three came chasing after her could have killed Jessica. So, but yeah, Maria's saying here that George couldn't kill an adult in purple. So, if Maria's not a culprit, then George really couldn't. There's Battler crawling. There's George. I don't understand this. If you couldn't do it, does that mean there is somebody else killing people? Beatrice, says Maria. That's impossible. There should only be our family on this island. Ah, says Battler. He's screaming out. What the heck is going on? Who did this? All of this! Battler screams out. Alright, that's it on that chapter. Let's go to chapter 12. Burns Challenge, or Burn S Challenge. Burn S Challenge. Here we go. Ooh. Interesting cover here. Alright, okay. Chapter 12, Burns Challenge. Here we go. Here we go. Now let's see how Battler and Beatrice solve this in the manga. So at this point in the visual novel, it gives us this whole panel where we have to try and solve... Oh! This music is perfect for what we're about to do. This is... okay. So we're about to try and solve this mystery. So, at this point in the visual novel, a big panel appears where you have to do this whodunit game thing. We have to figure out who the culprit is. So how did they do it? How did they do it in the manga? Who did this? All this screams Batter in the fragment. Now back to Burn. With this, the story of my game ends, she says. This is quite well done, says Lambda. If this was properly read out, it could be mixed among Beato's games without notice. But it needs some know-how to write illusions on this. So that spectators buy it. But, says Batter, there's a lot of people's corpses. There are locked rooms, murders, and some other impossible crimes. This is quite something. If I were to take it like that, the culprit would have to be an outsider. Okay. This is quite something. If I were to take it like that, the culprit would have to be an outsider. What's Batter mean by this? If I were to take it like that, the culprit would have to be an outsider. Right, so not among the family. That's what right. That'd be the same thing as giving in to the witch. Lady Berncastle swore that this was a genuine mystery with a human culprit, says Beato. And with a human culprit also comes strict possible human needs. Even if they look impossible on first sight, says Beato. There's Bern smiling. Well then, once more, I will give you the rules of Bern's game. 1. A culprit is defined as a murderer. Goes without saying, says Batter. A culprit has the ability to lie, and a culprit has the ability to lie even before any murders. No objection. The people who are not the culprit can only tell the truth. The people who are not the culprit will not aid the culprit. So that means there are no secret agreements or accomplices? I was wondering whether somebody was covering for the culprit and giving them an alibi. I was wrong. Yep, there's no such thing. So, unless the person, an accomplice could have helped the culprit, but only the accomplice themselves killed someone. But that would make the accomplice also a culprit. So, there could be multiple culprits, but as long as they killed someone, right? But then they'd be a culprit themselves. If they haven't killed anyone, they could not have aided the culprit, and then that would make them not a culprit, and so they can only tell the truth. So unless they kill someone, that cannot be the case. A culprit will carry out all murders directly with their own hands. A culprit does not die. That's another important one. A culprit does not die. So you cannot assume that, okay, one of the culprits was lying and then they died because one of the culprits backstabbed. No, a culprit does not die. So anyone who died is guaranteed not a culprit. So no indirect murders from a distance, like traps, huh? Yeah. And also, no suicide by the culprit after the construction of a locked room. So you could say the culprit is not among the dead. Death means death of the flesh. Even if a person carries several names, if they are killed, they become unable to move immediately. Not like in a certain someone's game, like changing your name and living. Look at that. So yeah, considering Shannon died, that also means Kanon's dead. The death is the death of the flesh. Shannon dies, Beato dies, Kanon dies. That's it. Yeah, if Shannon dies, Kanon dies as well, of course. That's just obvious. It is. Death is death of the flesh. Bato's like, okay. Also, once again, I feel like the manga is being more direct about that. That, hey, Shannon dies, Kanon dies. It's pretty obvious in the visual novel as well. That, yeah, one of them dies and the other one dies too. In addition, in Red she says, this game is set up so that everybody knows about the connection between Shannon and Kanon. Okay, they're being straight up direct about that. Okay. Alright. Cool. Red Truth. Okay. Right. Red Truth. I don't remember. That's such a Red Truth. I don't remember that in the visual novel. The manga is being more direct there. In Beato's magic, it's called without love, it can't be seen. Says Lambda. So in this case, there is love. Or simply said, they understood. I see, says Batter. In Beato's game, it was a huge element of deduction whether people were able to perceive them at the same time or not. But in this game, that is of no concern from the beginning. Right, so we don't have to worry about them being able to be perceived as two separate beings by people, right? Like, everyone knows that they're one person, one flesh. Right. A culprit is among the given characters. The given characters are the usual members, excluding Kinzo, of course. Nobody else turns up or has any relevance, right? And a culprit has to be among the given characters, right? No lies exist within the stage directions, and the purple statement has the same value as the red truth, but the culprit alone can lie using the purple statement. That's the spirit of the game, says Lambda. Those are all the rules to my game. I have no intent to give out any more hints. Well then, as the observer, I will declare this once again. With red, she says, I ensure that the culprit can be decided with the information so far. I agree. The culprit can 100% be deducted based off all this information. I know because I did it myself. It may have taken me several hours, but I figured it out myself. So, I'm sure Batter and Beto can figure this out. There's a lot of weird ghosts. Batter's staring at them. Okay, there's all the pieces. That's Batter himself. That is, just pointing, the blue truth. I'll grant you this blue truth. You have just one chance to get the answer. If you're able to get the right culprit on that try, my game board wasn't worthy and you win. Otherwise, I win. No face up between blue and red? No. It's not even funny if I keep giving you endless tries to answer along with red hints. With enough guesswork, Batter will get the answer at some point. Might that be what you always wanted? This is a duel. You'll have to win with a flash, Burns says. Okay. Okay, I will cut your throat in one flash, says Batter. Ooh, with his thumb going across. Okay. A little bit brutal, considering this entire game has been about people dying by having their throats cut. So Batter's declaring this to burn. Okay. So let's have some fun with this. It's nice to be able to challenge the same mystery together with you. My arm is twitching, says Beato. Burns smiles. And I will take a look at your skills. Beato, it's sudden, but can you reconstruct it from the first Twilight on? Yes! First Twilight, they found 6 bodies. Eva, Hideyoshi, Rudolph, Kiryu, Rosa, Genji in the dining hall of the mansion. The crime scene was a locked room, none of the survivors have an alibi. Second Twilight, Second Twilight, the bodies of Cross and Nazi were found in Nazi's room. The crime scene was also a locked room, all of the survivors could have committed the crime. Fourth Twilight, Shannon's body was found in the rose garden. At the same time, Canon went forever missing. Fifth and sixth Twilight, Goda and Kumasawa's bodies were found in the servant room of the guest house. The guest house was perfectly locked. The crime was impossible for all the survivors. Seventh Twilight, Nando's body was found at the entrance of the guest house. The guest house was still a locked room. The crime was impossible for all the survivors. Moving on, eighth Twilight, Jessica's body was found in the rose garden. Again, the crime was impossible for all the survivors. The survivors at the end of the story are 3 people, Battler, George, Maria. Okay, says Battler. Let's inspect these in order. And Beto's pointing up. Well then. Crack, crack. I also crack my fingers to match up with that. Alright. I hope you guys heard the cracking. If not, that's kind of disappointing. The keys to this game are the purple statements. Let's start by separating the truth from the lies. So, is the manga going to go about it the same way the visual novel's hints went about it? The same way Batter and Beto went about it in the hints of the visual novel? In which case, that would be one way to solve it. Because they get pretty close to the truth by the end of the hints, to be honest. I did read through all the hints after I solved it on my own, by the way. I did not read any of the hints when I solved it on my own. But of course, after I solved it on my own, I then went on to check all the hints to see all the banter between Batter and Beto. There was a lot of fun banter between them. Alright. The purple statements of the... Ooh, is this that angle? That angle is a very fitting OST to have in this scene. The purple statements of the innocents are the same as red truth. That is key information, says Beato. But Batter, there's the lies of the culprit mixed in as well. How do you plan on discerning the lies? No. I'll start with what's obviously true. Exactly. This is how I started as well. Like, my first thought process is find out who is definitely dead, especially if the narrator confirms that someone is dead. Find out who that people who are that. Find out what their purple statements are, because they're red truths, and from there find more information about other dead people. and then we can start cornering in on the culprit. Obviously true, says Beato. The rules: there are no lies in stage directions, and culprits do not die. Those declared dead in the stage directions are obviously really dead, and since they are dead, they are not the culprit. And culprits do not die. Therefore, since Jessica, Shannon, and Dr. Nanjo were told to be dead in stage directions, they are in the clear. So anything that Jessica, Shannon, and Nanjo say in purple is basically red truth. And this is hugely important information, especially Nanjo. Very important that Nanjo's can be anything that Nanjo says is red truth, by the way, in my opinion. And Jessica as well. Jessica also said a lot of some key information. All of them really said key information, but yeah. But Jessica survived basically till the end. She was the last person to die, and with that, you can definitely get a lot of information from this. And since death means death of the flesh, canon as well. So yeah, anything canon says is also red. That's true. So since Nanjo is innocent, his purple statement of nobody will be mistaken about the dead is effective as well. Good cornering battler. This also proves that all the corpses checked by Jessica, Shannon, Canon, or Dr. Nanjo are actually dead. And then, when we check those corpses, we know that anything that those corpses said in purple is also red truth. Good one, battler. Dr. Nanjo checked Cross Oji-san and Natsuo-ba-san at the second twilight, and also verified the death of Shannon-chan at the fourth. He also confirmed Genji's death, right? Him and Canon confirmed Genji's death. And also verified the death of Shannon-chan at the fourth, as well as Kumasawa-san and Gora-san's death at the 56th twilight. So anything Kumasawa and Gora says is true. There you go. Also, Canon declared Genji dead at the first twilight. Yeah, Canon said that, and he said that along with him and Nanjo declared together. But I guess since it was Canon's statement, it counts as Canon's red truth. That means Cross Oji-san, Natsuo-ba-san, Gora-san, Kumasawa-san, and Genji-san are innocent as well. Massive information, by the way. This alone, I think what Batman just said here is like you're 50%, oh maybe not 50%, 40% on your way to find out who the culprit is. Because with all this information, you're already like massively on the way, in my opinion. Innocence proven. So these people are all innocent. I see, says Beato. I think this is massive step from Battle here. That narrows it down to 8 suspects. I only have to find out what's not true by looking at their purple statements. Exactly. Find out what doesn't, what contradicts. Find out what's off. They're going at it, says Lambda. At this rate, they won't ever find it out. Really? I think that's a massive step they just made. But okay, Burn. I feel like they'll find it out. On the roster of the 8 suspects, there are Battle and his parents, Jojo and his parents, and Rosa and Maria. That's quite a scary lineup, isn't it? The adults are all set up as the victims of the first twilights. Kumasawa-san, who's innocent, might have declared in purple that they were all blood smeared and collapsed, but that does not mean they have to be dead. The ones to check their death are their children. Yes, Battler, George, and Maria. Those 3 also survived until the very end. Since they aren't dead, the chance is high they are culprits. Unless I prove their innocence, their parents' death isn't certain either. The other way around. They could have lied about their parents' death. And Battler crosses his leg to the other side. Finally, this becomes a mystery. Let's check again from the first twilight. First twilight. And Beth as well. Alright. The first twilight. The 5 considered dead and the corpse of Genji were discovered in the dining hall. The crime scene was a locked room. No one has an alibi, but with 8 being innocent, the situation changes slightly. Yeah, all the servants are proven innocent. In other words, no master key was used in this crime. Because the master keys cannot be taken from the servants, and an innocent person would never aid the culprit, there was no master key used, not only the first twilight, but never in this case. But Battler, that is quite some trouble. Now all the locked rooms must be made without the master key. What do you mean that is quite trouble? This is obvious. This is gonna narrow down the culprit is much quicker. Because now we know for sure that the culprit could not have used the master key. The opposite, Beato, exactly. It's a trick of being able to construct them without a master key. Yeah. This is gonna help narrow it down, Beato. Huh? The inside lock! The culprit was among the victims of the first Twilight and killed the other 5. Then they set the inside key and made a locked room. Now remember Burns' Red Truth. The culprit definitely killed 6 people. Do you remember that? Red Truth is important. They pretend to be dead, and as long as someone lied when checking them, it works. Says Beato. Or thinks Beato, I guess. No, wait, Battler. It doesn't work. Didn't Lady Birdcastle say the culprit of the first Twilight definitely killed 6 people? Good one, Beato. That's an important red truth, like I said. Battler, says Beato. Isn't this red aiming at the death of the 6 people in the dining hall? And doesn't it prove that the culprit is definitely among the remaining 3 Battler George Madia? Beato says. But it's important to check the timing of when Burns said that red truth though, Beato. Battler's sweating. But how did they pull off the locking without a master key? And Jessica also said in purple that any crime in the guest house was impossible to them. If the death of the 6 in the dining hall is certain, then there is nobody left to commit any murders. There's Burn right there. The second Twilight too. The stage directions say that only Cross and Nazi did not return. In other words, all the survivors at this point had returned to their parlor. Culprit X cannot exist, and since there is no method except the master key to lock the doors from outside, the culprit has to remain in the room and lock it from the inside to construct a locked room. Yeah, and then Beto goes to say, but that means nobody could have committed the murder of the second Twilight. Okay, Beto. Battler's sweating. Oh, they're stuck. Come on, y'all. Open your heads. Y'all can figure this out. What the? Was our approach wrong from the start? Or is there a trick to kill from outside the room? That was always your cute sneer. Just accept it. It was a witch. But, look at Beto there. But, this is a game about humans. How impossible it might ever seem, there must be a way for humans to do it, says Battler. Battler declares. I will unveil it. I will carve it solvable on your gravestone. Battler. Let's calm down and think, Beto. A culprit will carry out all murders directly with their own hands. There's no way to kill from outside a room. The culprit remaining in the room and constructing the locked room from the inside is the way. Yes! Battler points. And he does a little tick, okay? Whew. Think. There's only this way to construct a locked room. There must be some way out of this. Yes, I tried the same thing during the second Twilight and got to eat that red by Burn Castle. The culprit of the first Twilight definitely killed 6 people. Let's turn the chessboard around. Why did she say it like that at that time? To hinder me at making another theory? To ensure the death of the 6 people? 6 people. Yes. And then that person killed Cross and Nazi. The culprit locked the door from the inside, hid in the room, and then escaped at the next chance. That could work. Battler has made a realization. Aha! That person killed Cross and Nazi. Ah! Six people. Battler has made a realization. I was fooled by something like that. Ah. Okay. What? Did you understand, says Beato? Yeah, it was about timing. The culprit of the first Twilight definitely killed 6 people. I see that right at the second Twilight. That's an important one. Not at the first Twilight, you see it at the second Twilight. And the culprit killed 6 people then. It's so easy. Those 6 people includes the number of victims from the second Twilight as well. 4 plus 2. Good math there. Good math there, Patrick. Good math. Which means the true number of dead people at the first Twilight is 4. Huh? Ben's a little bit shocked. There's Eva, Hideyoshi, Rudolph, Kitty, and Rosa. So there really was a culprit among the 6 in the dining hall playing dead. That person snuck out of the dining hall, killed the 2 in Nazi's room, locked the room from the inside, and hid in there. With that, the pieces line up. And then the murders from Nazi's room onwards, Brat is thinking. What is it? No, Brat is sweating again. She said Nazi's room was sealed at the very moment they left it, and the culprit did not leave the room with them. Also, all the seals will definitely not be broken, so any murder after the culprit is locked in the room becomes impossible, says Battler. Battler's thinking again. Poke! Beato pokes Battler. You're soft. Poke, poke! As soft as the soft cream I love. Okay, well, Beato. Didn't you say so before yourself? Battler, George, or Maria could have lied at the inspection of their parents' bodies. Accomplices, says Battler. The people who are not the culprit will not aid the culprit. The child who lied about their parents' death is therefore also connected to the murders. Thank you, Beato. Yeah, fist bump. I think we are closing in on it, says Beato. There's Lambda singing, tuning in the background. Beato's still drinking, not Beato, Burn's still drinking her tea. Let's continue to the fourth twilight. Shannon was killed in Rose Garden. According to Jessica's Purple, George would not kill her. So he's either Battler or Maria. So either Battler or Maria is one of the culprits, at least. No. It could also be someone who played dead in the dining hall, and is not the one locked into Nazi Obasan's room. As long as that person snuck out of the mansion before... it was sealed. What? As long as the person snuck out of the mansion before it was sealed. Let's put Shannon Chan's murder aside for now. The next is the 5th and 6th twilight, okay? According to Jessica's Purple in the stage direction, this was impossible for Battler, George, or Maria. Wait, they're talking about they're talking about Kumasawa and Gora. Impossible for Battler, George, or Maria. None of the surviving 3 children could have committed the guest house murders or killed Jessica. Right, says Battler. In that case, if it can't be done by the survivors, the dead will have to do it. The dead, or better, a human who played dead. That is proof that there is a culprit who pretended to be dead, says Battler. He makes that declaration. One of these five or more maybe had to be a culprit. One took care of the murder in the mansion and was locked into Nazi's room. The other committed the murders after that. And the last one is the child who lied upon inspecting their bodies. That is the breakdown of the minimum of culprits. Yep, minimum of culprits is 3. And Beato, by doing that, what do you figure out, Beato? That's right, it can't be Maria Rosa, because Maria could only lie about her mother's death. But since Maria doesn't have a father, sorry, I didn't mean to bring it up like that. Sorry, Maria. Sorry, Rosa. But Maria does have a biological father, obviously, but father left for milk. Anyway, it can't be Maria Rosa, which means that anything Maria says in purple is a red truth. So, the child that's lying is either George or Battler. Who is it? Now remember Maria's purple statement. I won't say any more for now, because then I'll just spoil who the culprit is. But now we know it's among Battler or George, and we know it's either Battler and his family or George and his family. So George, Hideyoshi, Eva, or Battler, Rudolph, and Kirie. We're this close to figuring out who the culprits are. 4 among the 6 in the dining hall were dead, but now it is certain that there are 2 adult culprits. It's left to decide how many child accomplices there were, and to settle who the culprit actually is. Seems like they pretty much have the number down, says Lambda. The scope of the suspects hasn't really changed much. That will take some time, right? Because it's still 8 people. It's still 8 suspects. But so I guess the scope of suspects hasn't changed. But I think they're really closing in here. Click. Alright, just put her tea down. George Disa would never kill Shannon, says Jessica. So George definitely did not kill Shannon. Okay. Battler goes on. For further ideas, we'll have to look at the purple statements again, says Beato. George and Maria said something very interesting at the 8th Twilight. George and Maria, right? As if you could kill anybody, Maria. Maria could not kill anyone, says George. And if George is innocent, that means Maria is definitely innocent. And Maria says, George Oni-chan, you can kill an adult. You can kill a child or a minor girl. That is still thinking. If George's innocence was decided upon, then Maria would automatically be innocent as well. And if Maria was innocent, what then? Battler standing. Battler, it's alright. Berto! There's Burn. What? I'm ready. I'll beat Burncastle's game with my blue truth. Oh, Battler's ready to declare who it is. Huh? They're all shocked. Wait, you haven't pinned that culprit down. Battler, you do understand? You only have one chance. Is that okay, Burn? This is Battler. It might be totally half-baked. If that's the case, I'll win. Look at Lambda going crazy. There is no reason to refuse this blue truth, says Burn. Battler smiling, he's ready. Come at me, says Burn. Battler is coming at ya. With his blue truth, he's smiling over at her. Here I go. Whew. The culprit is a group of 3, he says in blue. There is one child and the parents. Parent A first kills 4 people at the first Twilight, locks the dining hall from the inside, and then plays dead with Parent B. The child culprit lies when inspecting the parents' bodies. After that, Parent A uses the child's aid to get Cross and Nazi to open their door, and then kills Cross and Nazi. They don't need the child's aid to do that, but I mean, yeah. The inside lock is set and the parent hides. Since the door is sealed thereafter, the parent remains in the room. So, at this point, Parent A has killed 6 people. Okay? Moving on. After making Natsuyo Obasan open the door, the child returns to the parlor to the other survivors, Battler says. Then the child kills Shannon-chan at the 4th Twilight. The child does this. Parent B sneaks out of the mansion before the seals are placed, and then commits all the murders from the 5th Twilight on. The guest house is a locked room, but with the aid of the child inside, unlocking and locking upon entry and exit is possible, says Battler in blue. Oh, here we go. There's Burn. Maria cannot be the culprit, Battler says. If Maria was the culprit, then there would be necessity for another adult besides Rosa Obasan, and there would be need for one more child to lie about their parents' death. It's a rule that a culprit is defined as a murderer, so that child must also commit a murder. Look at Lambda flying about. Yeah, it's a rule that a culprit is defined as a murderer, so that child must also commit murder. There is only Shannon-chan who could have been killed by one of the children, so there cannot be more than one child culprit. Right, yeah, that's important. For the reason of calling for another child culprit, Maria cannot be the culprit. Alongside, Rosa Obasan's innocence is proven as well. Rosa's innocent, of course she is. We believe in Rosa. We knew she wasn't guilty, right, y'all? I will never be suspicious of Rosa. Even though there's a big Rosa theory, I think in the community, right? It's a big Rosa Trice theory, right? That she's actually the main culprit and it's not Beato Shannon Canon. And apparently it's like very in depth, like some people like really went into detail with that one. But okay, alongside Rosa Obasan is proven as well, George can also not be the culprit, Battler says. The only one the children can kill is Shannon-chan. But according to Jessica's purple statement, George could never kill Shannon. So by not being able to commit any murder, George cannot become a culprit. Alongside, since nobody can lie about their death, Eva Obasan and Hideyoshi Oji-san's innocence is proven as well. The The purple statement of the two is verified by this too! That is true. George and Maria ensure each other's alibis. According to Maria's statement, George could kill Minor, but both underage victims, Jessica and Shannon, cannot have been killed by George. So in this case, Jessica and Shannon are underage victims, even though, well, technically Shannon is supposed to be 19 years old. Even though she thinks she's 16, she's 19. And Jessica's also an 18-year-old. I wouldn't... Neither of them are technically minors, but in the context of Umineko, and maybe in the context of 1986 Japan, maybe they are considered minors. Anyway, not... We get the point when she says minors. Like, she's talking about the non-adults, okay? Like, the non-30-plus-year-olds, right? Like, that's what she means when she says minors, right? The youngest adult being Rosa. But even she's, like, in her mid-30s, right? So it's, like, at least, right? So, cannot have been killed by George, alright? Conclusively, Maria's statement proves that George cannot have killed anybody. You've grown strong, says Beato. Since one side's innocence automatically proves the other's innocence as well. Maria and George are either both innocent or both guilty. Since there can only be one child culprit, it is impossible that both of them are guilty. Thus, it perfectly proves their innocence. Moving on, and then there's Beato saying, alright, let me just zoom out a little here. And that incompetence when you lost heart during my game is already... Thus, the deity is impossible to any but the remaining group, Batters points out. And also it makes complete sense that Burn would make Batter and his family the culprits. An incompetence when you lost heart during my games already. She's talking about in around the episode 2, episode 3 era, right? That's around the time when Batter lost heart, right? That was when Beato called him incompetent. Checkmate, Batter says. They are this game's culprit. Ooh, stabs through the slamda. Bang, 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 ha! There we go. There's Battler's blue truth. And there's Burn. It's flying at her. Burn, do you take that? It's cracking. It has shattered. The fragment has shattered. There it is. It's raining. Okay, where? Oni-chan. Oni-chan, where are you? They are all dead. They've all been killed. Where am I? This is not my brother's game, is it? Where is he? Is he alive? Please be alive, Oni-chan. Angie's crying. She's all alone. There's Battler, George, and Maria. She's found them. Oh, Oni. Oh. Battler and George. Oni-chan. He's alive. Oni-chan. George Oni-chan too. And Maria Oni-chan. Oni-chan. Battler Oni-chan. Look, take this. Was it really some outsider who killed them all? It was a witch. The culprit is a witch. I'm here. Listen. You too. Listen. There is nobody besides us here. It's impossible to enter or leave the island in this typhoon. There's Angie. She can't be heard. Why won't they notice me? I'm screaming so loud. I'm in hearing distance. Yet, even while I'm this close. Why? It's just like before when they didn't notice me outside the hall. Aww. It's as if I'm on the other side of a TV screen. But Joe Johniki, there have been so many murders that are impossible to anybody from our family. There is something we missed. Like someone playing dead, says George. If there was an accomplice lying at their autopsy, someone pretending to be dead could murder unobserved. Okay, so I like the way the manga just solved the quiz part of the visual, the burn puzzle part of the visual novel. They just had Batter do it, well, with a little bit of help from Beto. It was mostly Batter. In the hints in the visual novel, Batter and Beto were actually working together to solve the hints, and then Batter and Beto got really close to the truth. But in the manga, now just straight up Batter goes crazy with the blue truth, so... If there was an accomplice lying at their autopsy, someone pretending to be dead could murder unobserved. And there you are, doubting us again, Jojo Nikki. Dr. Nanjo was murdered. It should be proper to think that those killed are innocent. And a doctor like Dr. Nanjo should be the first we can trust. He did most of the verifications of the dead, but in the dining hall, he only took a look at Genji. His Batter and Maria. We did all the confirmations back then. So you wanna say that one of us lied about our parents' death? Says Batter. George is sweating a little bit. Batter grabs George. What are you talking about? How are they supposed to be alive after that state they were in? Are you saying that one of our parents killed everybody? You don't feel shame for even thinking that our parents could be murderers, killing people in such ways? I will not forgive you for this, Batter cries out. George stays still. So sorry. My mom was perfectly dead. So whose parents are the killers? Batter's or George and Nichan, says Maria. She's like, I know it's not my mother. So which one of you two is lying? It's okay, Maria. Let it go. I was too rash. But Jojo Nichan would never kill Shalom, says Maria. Maria's actually great at deducting here. Like, yeah, Jojo would never kill Shalom, so it's gotta be Batter, right? But none of us would kill their parents. We're getting nowhere doubting each other. Isn't that right? It's completely unthinkable that Jojo Nichan would agree to a plan where Shannon would be killed. So I don't think that he would lie about his father and mother being dead when they were alive. George is shocked, looking over at Maria. Maria's there. Battler, you saw the corpses of your father and mother? Battler's like, oh? Yes, I saw them. You all saw them, right? So full of blood, in a cruel state. Dang! Dad, I didn't even kill your son. I think you're lying, Battler. Maria declares in a very eerie panel here. I think you're lying, Battler. Huh? What? Why would you say that? Everything lines up. If your parents weren't dead in the dining hall, one of them killed everybody in the mansion and remained in Nazi's room, the other continued the murders after that. To break into the guest house locked room, you need aid from the inside. That was you. Everything and anything can be explained. Finally, I solved this wolves and sheep puzzle in my head. The culprit is Battler's family. Correct? This OST in the background was perfect for this scene, by the way. Alright, and that's the end of the chapter. Okay. This time a different translation. Yeah, that's fair. Honestly, the fact that it's a different translation, different cleaning typesetting, that's fair because I didn't notice any like English mistakes this chapter. I didn't like Haguruma continued translating these chapters because this was a good translation. I felt like there were no obvious like English grammar mistakes or anything like that. So this was good English translation. Good job. Alright, we're done with the burn challenge now basically. Marius correctly suspected that Batter's family are the culprits. Now let's go on to the next chapter. The culprit is Batter's family. The late visitor won. Correct? And that's the end of that. Alright, we can end off this part right there. Yeah, sure. I think we've gone on for an hour, haven't we? Maybe? Chapter 13, that's where we leave off now. Late Visitor is the first of the three-part like session. And it's also going to be the conclusion of Volume 3. Once we finish with the Late Visitor part. So yeah, okay. I hope you guys enjoyed this part of Umineko when they cry. The manga, at least, episode 8 manga. Next, we continue the Late Visitor, and then we have the scratch marks of the Black Cat, and there the siege of on the chapel, and the capital of books, towards the Golden Land, the Book of Interest, and then finally, we get to the long-awaited confessions. So, yeah, okay, well, we're gonna end it off there. I hope you enjoyed watching this at least as much as I enjoy reading this. We shall continue next time. Alright, y'all. Peace.